Okay, let's go about this. So, let's see where we are at. Today's Friday. Normally do Friday 3:30, but we're a little bit late. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we're going to talk about on old business. Yes, we still got the community manager situation. So that seems to be one of our weakest links right now. It seems to be the part that everybody's asking about. So we're looking for a champion to take up that head. Thank you. Best practice is to remind 30 minutes before. Today I'm late. The new OK4R format has already been rolled out, so that's good. Sharpening your saw. Yes. Okay, let's talk about this. So this is an interesting discussion, and this is a future vision. I think we talked about this already, so this can be deleted. Okay, so this is what leadership is about this month. So I think part of great leadership is making other leaders. And part of making other leaders is giving them real responsibilities. And part of what makes Sharpening Your Saw this month, I think, so great is we're giving other people opportunities not just to teach something that they know about, but to lead in a subject that they don't know about and get more expertise. I see we bought the course on our Academy already.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, all right. So that is good. And let's take a look and see what's going around right now. So we got Nunli's, our customer service, attendees leading on customer service. Oh, the course is up already. Let's go ahead and take a look at the course. Okay, so one of the things I've been doing this month is really thinking about how to evaluate good performance, actually. So one of the things I continue to think about is not so much about how to do the work, but how to evaluate somebody else's doing the work. This is kind of a structure for that, so that we can see what everybody's up to and what's going on, right? So we can monitor, and it makes us better delegators too as well. Okay, so let's take a look. Customer service, good. Okay, so there's three parts. Okay, I guess there's three parts. And there's this. Okay, great. And let's see. Oh, okay. So this is the standard format. The format is key, I think, in actually creating good self-leadership and creating good delegation. One of the key parts, like I said, about delegation is monitoring. One of the things I found out, and this can be very beneficial to anybody, is monitoring is so much easier if you delegate that to the people being monitored.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. So I realized as soon as you start this course, you're kind of in the blind because you're not constantly with the people who are in your course. So then what I thought about is how do you actually make it so that anybody leading the course knows what's going on without having to constantly say, hey, look, have you done this yet? Have you done this yet? So I think the most effective way is actually through this, which is essentially a checklist, actually. So the checklist allows everybody to essentially update the progress and see where they are. And you, as let's say leading the course, can actually then see what's going on. So then, once again, it's a single source of truth. So if someone hasn't checked it, then it's either they forgot to do it or they haven't done it at all. So this was a new innovation that I think I discovered recently, and I think we can put this into the format maybe for all the other sides. Okay, let's talk to let's see, where's taxation? Okay, so let's look at your project right now. So you got a few people following on this. You got Alvin and Vito, right?
Yep.
Are
And
also
Matt.
very good. Okay, so tell me how you're leading this class. Hey, Rafik, welcome in. Hey, from the frat house, live from the frat house. Rafik, we're talking about the leadership learning courses that we're going to do this month, and specifically, we're taking a look at Risky's course right now. So let's take a look. So, Risky, tell us about your course idea.
Okay. Mine is compared to the others. It's like taxation is like for me is I need to learn it as well, right?
Yes.
And compared to the other project like persuasion and stuff, you guys teach somebody to do a better job at persuasion or content or whatever. But me, I mean, I don't really know how to teach taxation at all because I didn't know it yet.
Great.
Right? And then I put this format because what I want is we learn together.
Perfect. Even better.
Yeah, we learn together. But since I'm the one who subscribed the membership of the academy. So I'm gonna do learn first, and I will put the material here so we can, ask question like maybe Wayana has some question with pajak penghasilan maybe or PPh 23 for a company or
Mhm.
some stuff. So the question, if I didn't know the question, I will escalate it to our account manager.
Mhm.
We have Pak Santa, our accounting manager, and then I have my brother, he's a
Yeah.
tax consultant. So
Okay.
we can escalate him, or maybe we can ask him to join our seminar.
Excellent. And it's easy to join because all they need to do is
Yes.
just to uh, enter this website. Fantastic. This is really great. And this is actually coming to the entire point of having leadership learning. I think leadership learning means you don't necessarily have to be an expert in the subject. It means that you are also the student at the same time that you're leading other people to learn. And so Risky's process is actually very similar to my process right now. So I'm trying to learn a bit more about digital marketing. That's one of our secret classes that we have. So we have all the public courses, and then we were talking about having a 24-hour learnathon on digital marketing. So we're going to lock ourselves into a room and just study everything there is to know in one day, one 24-hour span about it. So part of the preparation process is to actually curate the material. So go through the material first, learn what it is, and so that way you can kind of lead other people through it. And I think that's a very effective way to actually inspire learning and also to inspire leadership at the same time. Okay, great. So the course is bought. What is the format of the course and how can I access it?
I haven't put any because I
Ah,
haven't. Yeah.
okay. All right. So this is important. I think every course should have a resource section. So
Yep.
these are the learning resources, and these resources. This is a crowdsourced document everyone can put in. So you might be able to actually ask more people to contribute learning materials. Now I know when we went to school, the school usually had all the textbooks and everything that we're supposed to get. So the school distributes materials. But today is the 21st century, 22nd century, 21st century. Yeah,
21st.
21st century. Yeah. So let's have everyone potluck. Uh, does everyone know what a potluck means? Do you know what a potluck means? Ravik, do you know what a potluck means? Potluck. Actually, this is really funny. When I grew up in California, it was all the like Christian groups used to do this. So it's a party where everybody brings one dish to the party.
Just
So
one dish.
yeah.
Oh.
So instead of having one host cook for everyone, which is a lot, everyone just cooks one dish, and then you go to the party and you put your dish in the middle, and that allows everybody to feed. So in terms of learning resources, the best way is actually like a potluck. So bring whatever resources that you know into the group, and that way everyone can share and learn from them. It's actually something I picked up from on the HR Guild. We started doing that. So, for example, I think Ara brought in some material about LinkedIn, about future trends to hiring, and I think she regularly brings this. So it's actually really good. It's essentially getting as much resource as we can so that we can learn more effectively. So we only have a resource section so that we can accumulate materials. We can buy materials that are good too. So Masterclass is a paid subscription. Our Academy is a paid subscription. Whenever we bought a resource, we should try to share it as much as possible so that it has the most utility. Okay, let's go to Rafik. Rafik, what learning course are you working on right now?
What?
Rafik,
Sorry.
are you leading a learning course right now?
Yeah, it's about the partner relationship, sir.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's kind of like community management then, yeah?
Yeah, it's but more deep, sir.
Okay, great. Can I put you, I'd like to nominate you as the project champion on this one. Is that okay? Okay.
Yeah,
Who is currently in your learning group?
everyone.
No, cannot be everyone because when you have everyone, you have nobody. Right? It's hard to get everyone together. Uh,
Except,
who specifically do you feel like should learn this skill?
the host and the reservation team, and also MB.
A person in particular.
Me. Risky.
Ah, Rizky, Tandy,
Okay, and
uh, Hena.
Yeah.
Vanna. Okay, great. Start small. Don't start with a huge class because when you have a huge class, it's really hard to learn. Actually, people getting interrupted, people going in, out, whatever. Start with 2, 3 people and get really tight knit focus, and the results are going to be way, way better than saying everyone. Okay, all right. So then the next step is essentially this, Rafik. So you're going to have to create a course on paper using whatever. We have some templates already. You can just kind of like borrow these, and I'll give you 2 examples of different templates that we have. Okay, so one example of a type of course can be self-led. So I'll give you an example of this. This is my entrepreneur course, and it's working. I'm very happy to say it's working. How do I know? Lunchtime today, you noticed what we talked about today, right? We talked about finance, about economics, and what started that discussion was actually podcasts. This is this is kind of like a little bit, one drop at a time, instead of a lot of intensity continuously. So this is kind of like maybe doing one push-up every day, but you do it every day of the year, and the benefits will show. So this type of learning is essentially just self-guided. What I've asked people to do is just to download this podcast. I think Ara's already downloaded this and listened to one already, right, Ara? Okay. Which podcast have you heard so far?
The fashion things are, but I haven't finished it yet.
Teach America.
No, the rent the runway.
Rent the runway. Fantastic. The concept of renting high fashion instead of buying high fashion. Okay, great. So this type of format is very, like I said, it's self-guided. All it is essentially go to this page, download this podcast, and listen to 3 podcasts, and then we will come together to talk about the things that are there. Vena and I had a really fruitful discussion today about Sarah Blakely. She's an entrepreneur that started women's undergarment so that you don't see bra lines and you don't see panty lines. So it was really kind of a fun discussion. There was a lot of things about sales, economics, and strategy involved. So this is one format of learning that you can create. This is pretty effective. Have a milestone template. I got inspired by Ara's idea of SMART checklist. So this is similarly a checklist that put all your students on. Think of, let's say, how can you solve this in 5 steps? How can they can learn partner relationships in 5 steps? And then let everyone track their own progress so that you don't have to ask and say, hey, did you do this already? Hey, did you do that already? They can track their own progress. And we can then track later on, do they deserve their learning bonuses, right? Did you actually participate in the class? And did you get anything done? It's all very simple. Okay, so this is one possible format for any course. Does this make sense? Yeah? Okay, great. The second format you can go with is something a little bit more in-depth, right? So this is just a suggestion. You're free to come up with your own format. This format involves more resources. So it's not just a single podcast. It's a sequence of masterclasses about negotiation and persuasion that I've curated. So just as Risky is planning to curate the material in our academy, he's going to read some of it first. He's going to understand what it's about, and then just point out the stuff that's more important. Because we don't want to. We need to have a finish time on this, right? We can't just say this will take forever. We should probably say, like, in 3 hours or in 5 hours, you're going to learn how to sharpen this skill. So when you think of it, do it that way, okay? So this has some resources. It has 3 parts. Part 1 is introduction, which I've done today. So we basically talk about what we think negotiation is. Part 2 is homework and self-study. So everybody goes back and they look at the course. And part 3 is where we get together and we practice. So we'll do demonstration. We'll do some real-life negotiation practice and get better at it. Okay, and once again, there's a milestone section for everybody to chart their own progress on it. And whatever notes we take during the discussion, we can attach it at the end over here. Okay, so does that make sense, Rafik? All right, fantastic. And the good part about these is that later on we can use these for new people too. So we are building our own courses, right, for training here at Bukit Vista. So later on, let's say a new person wants to come in. We can say, hey, look, you're a market builder. You should probably study the MB course on persuasion and negotiation. You're a new finance, study the course on taxation. You're new at community, study the course on partnership development. And then it'll be so easy to then train and recruit. You can just say, study this, learn this, and it's more self-guided that way. Make sense? So yeah, we're creating a double benefit here. We're creating learning and then also a pathway for future people to follow us. Okay, let's take a look at what's going on across. So just take a look at Risky's case. Let's go to Ara. Ara, what do you plan to do to lead the recruiting course right now?
Okay, so far I already distributed the plan of having the course. So first I'm going to gather what are the expectation of the attendees to get from the course. So then after that, we're going to schedule a time. I mean, I'm going to just say a date and then let's see if everybody can make it. So it's going to be more on based on it. I have to look up first on what are the expectations to get based on the attendees.
Okay, fantastic. That's a really good way of actually crowdsourcing. Remember, we did have this discussion though before. So I think recruiting is good. Get the input that people want, and I did that today too. Actually, I'll just demonstrate that real quick. So in the persuasion negotiation course, on the very first day, what we talked about is what do you think this actually means? What do you actually believe persuasion is going to be? This is really helpful because then you know where everyone is, where they're starting from. And then you ask them, how effective do they think they are at the moment? And then ask them, what would you like to do better? So that way your course is actually doing something that's building the skill, that's actually sharpening the saw and not like sharpening the handle or sharpening like the I don't know, whatever else, right? Not the saw itself. So being specific is how effective do you think, okay, so.
I'm just writing what you said.
Oh, it's right here. It's you can just check this course out already for persuasion negotiation. Okay. Do you have a template yet, Ara, for this particular course that you're doing? Please create a template because you need to have a meeting space to align your vision. Otherwise, it's just sort of, it's floating around. As quickly as possible, define that space where all the ideas are going to get together, and that way you can move ahead and your course becomes more real instead of more vaporous, right? Okay, great. Ara, there's already a lot of good material, and I want to introduce it over here on this section here, right? There's some LinkedIn learning, really good stuff about recruiting, stuff that I wish we had learned as recruiters ourselves a year ago about how to screen for candidates, how to like spot red flags, good stuff like that. Okay, and also I wrote a piece on recruiting. Did you get a chance to see that? Okay, great. Okay, fantastic. Let's go over to Rafik. Rafik, what have you produced for your course right now?
I'm still not prepared, sir.
Oh, okay. All right. Rafik, once again, same advice as Ara. Put the place together so that we all know where to go and lead your group. Also, Ara specifically, think about how you want to communicate to your group. I right now have a WhatsApp group for all the people in persuasion negotiation. That's how we're kind of like gathering that. Depending upon the size of your class, that's why smaller classes are better. It's more effective if it's smaller. If you just ping 2 people, right? And then ping 8 people or 20 people. Okay, so we do need to get this done in a timely way. Otherwise, the end of the month will happen and we'll still have no things done. When do you think, Rafik, can you produce a course outline? Rafik, you're muted.
Next week or so, when I will update the paper.
Okay,
next week.
And Ara, when do you think you can actually get this done too?
You mean the material?
Yes, we need the materials up on this board.
Okay, maybe to Sunday.
Okay, by Sunday. All right. Rafik, can we get your material done by Monday morning? Yeah? Would that be possible?
Tuesday morning.
Okay, Tuesday morning. All right. All right. Tuesday morning by Rafik and Monday morning by Ara. Okay, let's go to the next one. Where's Ara? Oh, here it is. Recruiting is Jing has delegated that to Ara now. And okay, Sunday. Okay. Welcome Nung Lee and welcome Diba. They are just standing to the side of me right here. They are present. Okay. So let's see. Diba, I saw that she was working on some work today for the project management. Do we have a course outline yet?
Not yet.
Okay. All right.
I just right now I'm in the stage of like gathering some courses first, like so that I can make it like more, because it's very hard to find a very compelling and also like make people stay to like watch it till the end, right? Yeah, so I'm trying to simplify it that as
You can curate certain parts out.
Yeah.
I know maybe we shouldn't
Yeah.
look at the entire thing,
Yeah.
but like for example, on the LinkedIn Learning, I saw that there was actually some key parts of. We do this a lot. We often delegate without actually understanding the person's schedule, right? So one of the things they said in project management, it's really helpful. You should know the capacity and how much bandwidth you consume from each person, and that way you won't like have disappointing results, right? So actually, before I delegated it and before I delegated to Ara and Rafik, I should have asked, okay, what is the capacity for you to have, let's say, an hour of spare time to complete this course template in the next 2 days, and to kind of sense what the capacity is. So in this particular way, project management is also a good sort of, this is a project itself. Some outline is better than no outline, right? Some course is better than no course. And remember, you can also utilize the idea of crowdsourcing. Get people to start contributing materials, and that helps also develop your total number of resources. Yeah? Okay. All right, cool. When would you like to get this up?
gonna be honest, probably next week.
Okay, next week, but no definite time. I would say budget a total amount of time that you want to actually organize a course. Remember, this is kind of like the first time you're teaching this. So it is an MVP in itself, and it doesn't need to be perfect. I would say take this much amount of time and just say, whatever I spent in this time, this is my course. And that way you have a,
It's really
otherwise
hard.
it keeps
I
on,
cannot do that.
it keeps on staggering. And remember, you're leading too. And some other people are waiting to understand how to.
I want to make it a good course for everyone. I don't want to just like.
But
Yeah,
a non-course cannot be a good course, right?
Planning is a very good step on project management, actually.
It is.
So, yeah.
It is. Okay, so Deepa will produce sometime next week. Let's just say before Friday. Yeah?
Before Friday.
Okay. All right. Before Friday. Let me ask Risky real quick. Can you figure out what day is Friday next week? Okay. All right. While Risky's getting that day, let's go over to Nung Lee. Nung Lee is doing her course on advertising and marketing.
Yes.
What's
okay.
the update on that?
Okay, sorry, I don't know where to put this, but then I finally realized it's here.
Yeah.
Okay,
here it is.
But there is going to be a couple more other
Ooh,
things.
that's
there.
fun. Case studies. Okay.
So basically, I took a look at who the audience is. Given that I'm doing marketing, right? So
Yes.
most of them are, I think, fairly new to marketing. Most of them are from different chapters like HAR, hosting team. So I've done up a course outline. It's going to be more group thinking than actually individual like homework.
Okay.
So basically, course outline, you scroll down. There's a bit of homework. So sorry, can you scroll down a little bit? Okay, here. So there's a bit of homework before the first session. So I want to make sure that everybody is aligned and understand what marketing is all about. So the homework is just defining what marketing means to you. And then on the first session, which is about 1.5 hours, we will go through the case studies. So you can click on the case studies.
Excellent. Wow, that's amazing. Okay.
So this is where we will talk about 3 sections here. So social media campaigns. And then we will talk about, trying to make it more relevant. So like Disney is very relevant to like tourism, right? So we'll talk about a SOM campaign. And if you scroll down a little, so basically how I'm going to do this is more group thinking because the group is quite big also.
Oh, yes.
I'll be asking questions, but these questions are designed so that it is also designed related to the case study that is above. Okay.
Excellent. Okay.
So then what we want is that at the end of the day, while we're going through these questions, I will also be taking down the key takeaways. So interesting insights that the team has themselves have realized when they're answering these questions.
Fantastic. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So.
And there's a 360 marketing campaign for Coca-Cola. Oh, yes. Wow.
Yeah. So this is like
I didn't know Coke had that.
Yeah, it's brand new actually. They only launched it in the UK.
Okay. Amazing.
So that's the case study. Then same thing, same format. We're going to ask a couple of questions, and then once we deliver those insights, then it will be documented at the bottom. Okay, then if we go back, so there is another one where I'm going to talk about is UX. I have not done that yet, but I think UX is very closely relevant to marketing because you need to understand.
I got one for you.
The user, right? Yeah. Okay, sure. Okay, you can edit in.
Have you watched Abstract? And there's one on. Have you watched Abstract?
what's a prelude?
Okay. All right. Sorry. Yeah. Let me
Okay,
show you
just
something.
edit it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the potluck idea, right? So if you have a resource, share the resource. Abstract, Instagram. This I thought a lot about in that debate that you and Bayou had about bigger, right? So what was? Oh, here's the guy, right? This guy. Currently, we have a Netflix account, by the way. If you guys didn't know, we have a Netflix account. You need to use it in conjunction with ExpressVPN. Otherwise, the Netflix won't flow, right? But one of the things I've been watching on Netflix that is amazing is this show. It's called Abstract. And this is Ian Spalter. He's the head of design at Instagram. And Instagram is all about UX. It's one of the most successful UXs in the world.
Yeah.
Billion users, tons of, it's like the strongest addictions ever made in humanity. So how was he able to get to that process? He thought about UX. So a lot, like totally a lot, like obsessively. So I'm going to suggest you could curate that and think if there is a connection to UX that way. Okay.
Okay. Ken, got it. Okay, so those are the 3 parts for case studies.
Great.
And then after that, what I'm supposed to also there is another section where I'll talk about marketing 4.0. So traditional marketing versus modern marketing, right? In simple terms. And then thereafter, I like to create something so I always believe learning is not just about theoretical. It should be, if you can put it into practice, it's much easier to absorb the understanding. So we'd like to also then have a go-to-market. So I would like to build a go-to-market strategy with the guys as a practice tool.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Are you going to get 2.5 hours of uninterrupted time from your?
I don't know. I'll try to find it.
Okay.
But so far out of the 12, only 8 of them can attend on the first day. I've asked for the rest if they need. Send me an alternative time slot so that I can help. But
sure.
Other than that, yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Scheduling is part of leadership. It is absolutely one of the things that is challenging to do from time to time when you lead a group. As like I was speaking with Rafik, the larger the group, the harder it is to actually get that coordination for everybody's schedule to land on the same time. Friday is risky?
14th.
14th. All right, fantastic. Okay, so let's go back up. And as you can see, this is a very different. Oh, it's Valentine's Day. Oh, nice. Okay. All right. This is a very different format than any of the other formats too, as well. Okay, thank you for bringing the case study method. That's like a business school method for leading. Okay, so this is pretty much it. Once again, I just want to remind everyone that if you have any material you'd like to contribute, like the way that I just contributed the material on Abstract to the pool of learning materials, please put it here. This will be helpful for anybody looking to, let's say, build a course. I don't know if Rafik would find negotiation and persuasion useful, but I've put some stuff there, and I think Tendy's, I found some customer service materials from LinkedIn about how to do great customer service there too as well. Okay, so the takeaway here is actually, this is good. I think both Diba and Risky are both feeling the struggle too. This isn't about teaching something that you necessarily have a lot of knowledge or experience with. This is about leading into the uncertainty, which is actually a better skill to have. Learning how to learn is one of the ultimate gifts, I think, that any sort of education can actually bring us. So it means that even if we don't know it, we can find the pathway to get there. And that's even better. Okay, that's pretty much it on what I wanted to discuss. Just an overview of how we're doing on this month's mission. Let's get some feedback. How do you feel about this month's current mission about like putting a priority on learning and sharpening our skills?
Nice, sir.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yep.
I mean, like for me, I mean, taxation is sometimes I have to learn that already. But for Vita, I mean, she wants to extend her knowledge about taxation, which is I can provide for her. So.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Can help a colleague out.
Yes.
Couple of those first. Okay. Let's go around. Let's say Diba. What do you think about this method so far? Like this idea? Good. Okay. Good. All right. Give likes to it. All right, Namli.
The method, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the theme of the month about
about
learning things to improve our skill set so that we can spend our time more efficiently doing things that are.
Okay. I think the team really likes it. Everybody has the sort of like a project that they're sharpening their saw. So
Great.
yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, very good. Rafik, what do you feel?
It's good, sir.
Okay.
And about the trust, caring, and sharing.
Excellent. A theme that we've all spoken about. Okay, to Ara. Okay, good stuff.
I mean, it's good that I can see how Nangli's template and any other's template to share this. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it should actually start feeling like a diversity of different styles and diversity of different methods. I think we have 3 different methods right now. The key components are just have the resources, have like a layout, and whatever else you do, be creative. Maybe you want to actually do a demo. Maybe you want to like get everyone together and do, I don't know, role play. Yes, Tara.
Yeah. Does anyone already use will going to use simulation? Because I might probably gonna use that.
Kind of. Yeah, we have some simulation on persuasion and negotiation, but you're free to use it. For recruiting, yeah, absolutely. Do recruiting simulations. I think that would be very helpful. Okay, all right. That's a short leadership class. That's pretty much it. Does anybody else have any other leadership topics they'd like to talk about at the moment? Okay, great. Let's pursue our mission. I'm really happy to see the alignment around this. It's really, really awesome to see that we all want to learn and learn new skill sets. And it's just a matter of, I think, bridging that information to the desire. Okay, great. Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Thank you, Risky, for jump starting the meeting, actually.